this stage is who actually supplies energy into the property, and whether you can help me with that.
So who the energy distributor to the actual property is, not
Yes.
necessarily the supplier. Yeah, that's no problem. What's the postcode of the
So you just said not the supplier, but the didn't say
So
broke.
you're looking to know who the distributor is
Oh,
for
the
the area.
so are the distributor and supplier not the same?
So the suppliers, the people that build your distributor to the area depends on the area that you live in. So each energy company takes a specific, so it's what's known as your MPAN number. So that's a specific number to a property.
Right.
Depending on your MPAN area, it depends on the distributor. So the distributor
Yeah.
is the one that makes sure the supply is going into the property, deals with all the power cables, things like that. Your electricity supplier is responsible for the metering, the meters itself, and billing you for your usage.
Sorry, the electricity are different from the gas. Is that what you're saying?
Electricity and gas, yeah. So electricity and gas, the responsibility of your supplier, so utility warehouse, for instance, is for the meters themselves. The responsibility of the power going into the property then falls onto the distributor for the area.
Oh, I see. And so, in that essence, then, utility warehouse or Npower or I don't know how many others you reeled off a few names earlier. So they're not actually supplying anything into the property. They've just got a meter just registering what's going through the meter. Is that right?
Well, and that's dealt with by SSE. So any power cuts or anything like that,
Mm,
regardless of who your supplier is, SSE would be the one that would fix that.
mm,
For instance, the central belt of Scotland, Scottish Power's area. So
mm,
anything goes wrong, regardless of who your supplier is, it's up to Scottish Power to restore
mm.
the supplies.
So utility warehouse don't actually supply gas and electricity into this property. Is that right?
Going into the property will just be responsible for the meters. So any faults with the meters themselves, things like that, that's what we would be responsible for, and we're
I
responsible for billing you for the actual usage.
I see. So in technical terms, really, um, I think what's being said is utility warehouse is merely a billing agent. It doesn't supply anything into the property, so it doesn't deal with the infrastructure like the pipe and the um, that come into the property, go under the ground, off to wherever the gas and electricity is stored, and so on.
No, we don't deal with any of that side of things away from the meter onwards. So prior to anything to the meter, that would be for yourself within that postcode would be Southern Gas Networks. So they're responsible for all that side of things.
Mm,
But you pay utility warehouse what's known as daily standing charge. So that covers the cost of piping cables, your meters, things like that. So if anything did ever go wrong, the distributor for the area would come out, but they wouldn't bill you for that because it's already covered through your daily standing charges that you pay whoever your supplier is.
so again, that confuses me because who is the supplier into this property if it's not utility warehouse?
What's the postcode? What's the first line of the address?
So it's 47 Cheseldine Avenue.
Okay, so 47. Utility warehouse is the current supplier, so we'll be the ones that deal with your metering, billing you, making sure your property's got a supply. But your distributor, so they're the ones that deal with the power cables and things like that, is Southern Electricity Power Distributor.
Yeah, but again, utility warehouse isn't involved in any of the actual infrastructure into the actual property. All
Into the property, no, we're
no,
responsible for the meters and making sure you've got supply going into the actual property. It's making sure that your supply is going from the meter into the actual property. The
so
distributor is responsible for everything up to the meter.
yeah,
Anything after the meter is utility warehouse.
So you're just a billing agent technically, because you're not actually supplying anything into the property. It's going through a meter. You're then billing the individuals, residents or owners within the property, rather than actually supplying anything into the property. But that's is that technically correct? Because normally we would phone the network operator and they would come back and connect the supply, right?
Yeah. So your supply into the property issue, if
Oh,
it's a metering issue,
I
let's say
see.
your meter goes dead or
Yeah,
something like that, that's our responsibility.
yeah,
If the supply is not going to the meter, that's your distributor's responsibility.
yeah. I see. All right. That answers my questions. Thanks very much. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No,
No, that's it. Thanks very much. Thanks, Gavin. See you. Bye.